So, 2025 is only hours away, meaning it's time to talk about what's coming for MSM this year. But before we start, I'd just like to say how happy I am that so many people watch these videos, even though they aren't the best quality. So, depending on how well this video does, I may start uploading more. Now, last year I felt pretty proud of myself for how much I got right, meaning I can't squander this reputation. So, without further ado, here's what to expect for MSM in 2025. Like always, we'll start with the variant classes. We actually have a pretty tame loadout compared to last year, but still nothing to scoff at. But before we get into that, I'd like to get Rare and Epic Mimic out of the way, because I don't want to say we still have Rare Naturals when it's just Rare Mimic. I was actually expecting to talk about Rare Dromedary in this video too, but it released in Festival of Yay, which I was not expecting. For some reason it broke the pattern of Rare Quints releasing during their Island seasonal event. However, I do think Rare Mimic will follow this pattern, and come out during Perplexplore, and I think it makes sense for the Epic to come out during Anniversary Month. Epic Naturals started in Anniversary Month, so it only makes sense they'd end them in it. Now let's get into the main course for the variants. Excluding Mimic, the variant classes that we'll see get new members this year are Epic Fire Monsters, Rare Magicals, Epic Ethereals, Epic Wubbox, Epic Mythicals, and Rare Dream Mythicals. There's also a high likelihood that Elder Celestials will also come, but I don't want to include this here because of what happened last time. Right now, we're missing 13 Epic Fire Monsters, 19 Rare Magicals, 8 of which are exclusive to Magical Sanctum, 2 Epic Ethereals, 3 Epic Mythicals, and 4 Rare Dream Mythicals. For Epic Fire Monsters, I'm not sure when we'll get them due to them all being Fire Expansion monsters, and therefore will also need to be released on the Magical Islands, not just Amber Island. So they'd need a new way of getting them, either by making them breedable, or through making them purchasable with a different currency, or something. If I were to predict the 2 remaining Epic Ethereals, I'd say Epic Fungprey will release in Season of Love, and Epic Dragon will release in Extravaganza. For Epic Wubbox, it's not technically confirmed to release in 2025, but with only 2 Epic Ethereals left for Ethereal Island, it's pretty safe to assume that Ethereal Island Epic Wubbox will release at some point in 2025. Finally, for Epic Mythicals and Rare Dream Mythicals, it's pretty established pattern that Epic Mythicals will release during their Island seasonal event, along with their Rare Dream Mythical counterpart. So, Rare Sporo will release during Season of Love, Epic Anglo and Rare Pinghound will release during Extravaganza, Epic Trouble and Rare Schlepp will release during Perplexplore, and Epic Yahaha and Rare Weasel will release during Summer Song. Before we move on, in case we do get Elder Celestials in 2025, we should expect to see Elder Skaratar, Ludwig, Tort, Plixie, and Atmos at the start of their respective months. Now onto the new classes, and I'll be talking about them together since they're both on the Magical Islands, and will likely affect each other's releases. Now, we got Phosphoran Phlox in early October, rounding off Anniversary Month, meaning it's been nearly 3 months since our first Titansoul, and we haven't gotten anything new. This is probably just due to how new its mechanics are, and the fact that they can be placed on the new Mirror Magical Islands, and we haven't gotten too many opportunities to populate them with rares and epics yet, so they were likely getting us used to the new mechanic before releasing the next one. I have 2 theories for the release order. The first is that the Titansouls are releasing in reverse order of the Magical Islands release, with the Paironormals following the Magical Islands release. If this is the case, I'd expect we could see the Bone Island Titansoul during Crescendo Moon, which will likely be around mid to late January this year. We'd then see the Fairy Island Paranormal released during Season of Love, since I think the Paironormals will release during core seasonal events, considering we got it during Festival of Yay of all events, despite Spooktacle being a more suitable event. Plus, we'll be getting 3 more Paironormals, and there's 3 core seasonal events before Anniversary Month, where we're definitely going to be getting Paranormal Island. But that's for the speculation section. Anyway, we would then see the Fairy Island Titansoul release during Clover Spell, and the Bone Island Paranormal during Extravaganza. We'd then get the Light Island Paranormal during Summer Song, and the Psychic Island Titansoul during Mindboggle. My second theory is that we'll be getting Titansouls and Paranormals, alternating in release, going in the order the Magical Islands appear on the map list. This would mean we'd get the Fairy Island Titansoul during Crescendo Moon, the Bone Island Paranormal during Season of Love, the Light Island Paranormal during Extravaganza, the Psychic Island Titansoul during Perplexplore or Sky Painting, the Fairy Island Paranormal during Summer Song, and the Bone Island Titansoul during Mindboggle or Anniversary Month. I personally find my first theory lines up much cleaner than my second. Now, before we move on, just a small tangent here. So, I'm a fan of Hollow Knight, and I've been waiting for Silksong for about 5 years now, and was hoping for news at the Game Awards. But I guess I was looking for Silksong in the wrong place, because My Singing Monsters seems to have beat Team Cherry to the punch. Now, back to the video. This is pretty straightforward. We will be seeing more monsters get seasonal costumes during seasonal events, likely excluding Anniversary Month due to how different it is compared to other events. Now we're on to Dawn of Fire, and with Prismatics wrapped up, the future of Dawn of Fire is still uncertain, but we still have confirmed content to talk about, namely baby versions for Strambonin, Anglo, Hyahaha, and Cherubble, along with new costumes and decorations for the seasonal junior events. This section doesn't have much, it's really just here to bring up 2 monsters that are already in the game, but still have potential new content, those being Mimic and Epic Monculus. It was teased a while ago that Fire Oasis will not be the only island Mimic will go to, and Epic Monculus is yet to come to Wublin Island. These are some extra things that could be coming in 2025. With the new year comes new variant classes, and I think we can expect 3 new variants: Epic Magicals, Epic Wublins, and Epic Dream Mythicals. Though not technically a new variant class, I also think we'll see rare ethereals on Workshop. Starting with Epic Magicals. So, technically we're missing 19 rare Magicals, meaning if we got 2 rare Magicals at each seasonal event, it would end in Anniversary Month. However, that would make the year feel a bit too saturated with rare Magicals, but I could see it happening. What I think might happen is we won't see all Magical Sanctum rares before we see Epic Magicals. I feel like there's a divide between Magicals on Magical Sanctum and other Magicals. We see this in Fire Monsters, Seasonals, and Mythicals, and in every case we saw the first get Epics before the latter got all rares. This also factors into Magical Nexus, because right now the collection rewards are pitiful, so I assume they want to get going on those collections. So if we see 1 rare Magical at each seasonal event, we would get the last one in Mind Boggle, leading to a perfect introduction to Epic Magicals in Anniversary Month. They could even release 2 in one event to add space for a Magical Sanctum rare. Next are Epic Wublins, and I think Extravaganza would be a good time to release them since Wublins and Rare Wublins first released in Extravaganza. I assume the first Epic Wublins will be Brump, Zinth, Poke, Thwalk, and Drumroll, just like common and Rare Wublins. But I could see them changing it up a bit and release 1 random Wublin. As for how you'd get them, you'd probably be able to evolve common or rare Wublins similar to Amber Island. The requirement would definitely be Epic Monster Eggs. I'm sure we'll need fewer Epic Eggs than we needed Rare Eggs for the rares. I even think we'll only need 1 Epic for each monster required, because Epics are pretty hard compared to rares. Finally, we have Epic Dream Mythicals, and my only guess for when we'd get them is during Mythical Counterparts regular island seasonal events. So we'd get Epic Bleatnik and Spooktical, Epic Nerve and Feastember, and Epic Crunchy and Festival of Yay. But I could see them changing it up since that was the same order the rares will release. Kind of an extension of the previous one, but I feel like there's more to talk about with this one than other variant classes. Now, we didn't get Elder Celestials in 2024, however I'm pretty sure I know why. Other than giving players more chances to ascend Adult Celestials before they added Elders, they were likely held back because of egg requirements. Elder Celestials will likely have crazy egg requirements, probably asking for Ethereals, Epic Naturals and Fire Monsters, Rare Mythicals, Paranormals, etc. If this is the case, I'd expect these Elder Celestials to make a new sound compared to their younger forms, just due to how difficult getting one is. Plus, Celestial Island only has 12 monsters on it, tied with Starhenge for the fewest number of unique monsters on it. But unlike Starhenge, the song kinda feels empty, and having 12 new monster parts could really help it. Next, we have something that was very recently teased. Something new is happening to the Workshop Ethereals, and it's coming in 2025. I've heard speculation this could be rare Ethereals on Workshop, but if this were the case, I doubt they'd start with Whale. I also heard this could be hinting at Plasma Island, since the hand took Whale of all Workshop Ethereals. However, this could just be a cunning trick to throw people off, because I doubt they'd dedicate 5 new islands to the Ethereals, especially when considering how only 5 of the 15 monsters on each island would be from the Workshop. I also doubt the triple quads and quint Ethereals will come to Ethereal Island due to how complicated it will be to explain why you can suddenly breed them, or why you can't if they're teleport exclusive. not to mention how unique the workshop monsters sound, which would clash pretty badly with Ethereal Island's song. I think this heavily points to a new Ethereal Island, one where all 31 Ethereals will reside, likely another island in the Pocket Dimension, but I could see it being located in the Prism Gate, since the first teaser was the hand in the Prism Gate. Plus, we don't know much about what's inside it, so it could explain why these unstable Ethereals could live outside the workshop. Now, don't get your hopes up that this island will release in early 2025, since the teaser only said 2025. And since the hand that took Whale is the same kind that holds Monculus together and is basically the logo of the Life Formula event, it's safe to assume this new island will release during Life Formula, which is in June. Mirror Islands have gotten a lot of attention lately, getting a remixed version of their song, the newly added magical Mirror Islands with the new Paranormal class, and there's decent evidence that the Fire Islands will be getting mirror versions too. The Mirror Islands cost diamonds, increasing by 100 in the map order, starting with Mirror Plant at 100 diamonds, ending with Bone at 1000. But there currently isn't a Mirror Island that costs 600 diamonds. And what do you know, the Fire Islands are located perfectly between Mirror Earth costing 500 and Mirror Light costing 700. There's two potential options with Mirror Fire Island. The first is we get two Mirror Fire Islands for both Haven and Oasis, both costing 600 diamonds. This could make sense due to the Fire Islands sharing a colossal spirit and are often paired together. They're the only ones with breedable fire quads, both have Godly Gourd, both only have one fire expansion monster, both have fire in their name, both got their Roblox at the same time, so they could both cost 600 diamonds. The second option is we get a single Mirror Fire Island. Since I'm pretty sure we'll never get a Mirror Amber Island, it would be interesting to explore if the Fire Colossal Spirit wasn't split up. In the main timeline, the Fire Colossal Spirit is split up between Fire Haven, Fire Oasis, and Amber Island. Recently, the Mirror Dimension is now known as the Mirror Timeline, and Fire Haven and Fire Oasis are heavily tied to the main timeline. Completely changing the Fire Islands to be different than the main timeline would help make the Mirror Timeline stand out. Sure, the Mirror Islands have different songs and look different, but overall it's just warped versions of the main timeline. Right now, the only thing that's actually different between the two are the Paironormals. The Mirror Islands are always merged to a counterpart. The Mirror Natural Islands each have traces of their respective ethereal element, and the Mirror Magical Islands are merged with their respective outer island from Dawn of Fire. Now, Fire doesn't have a definitive counterpart, but there is an element that has strong potential. If you look at the Celestials, each natural Celestial can be paired with an ethereal Celestial, leaving two Celestials unpaired, Furnos and Galvana, aka Fire and Electricity. Meaning if we do get a Mirror Fire Island or islands, it would be connected to the element of electricity. Now I know this won't happen, but if we do get only one Mirror Fire Island that merges fire and electricity, I'd hope it consists of the 6 natural elements. This would be insane. It would have 63 monsters and would definitively make Wobox the natural hex Big Blue Bubble have always said it is, making it the perfect way of merging fire and electricity. I think they'd make Wobox breedable, but would still be placed in its dormant state requiring boxing. Having Wobox be breedable on this island would also allow Elder Galvana to acquire it, and since Elder Galvana is at least a year and a half away, there's plenty of time to make this happen. But I'm sure Big Blue Bubble will take the easy way out and make 2 Mirror Fire Islands tied to the electricity element, giving them remixed songs just like the other Mirror Islands. But Big Blue Bubble, please consider my idea. We talked about the release order of the Paironormals, but now it's time for the speculations about them. I will only be talking about the elements themselves here, and not about monster designs. The Paranormal class seems to be much more conceptual than most elements, and might take inspiration from philosophy or things of that nature. They also need to be something that can have positive and negative connotations, depending on how you use it, due to the duality of the major and minor forms. This element should also fit the magical counterpart. Control fits well with Psychic due to you using your mind to control your movements, and Mind Control is a common Psychic ability. So for Fairy Island, I think a fitting element would be Luck. Luck has some good connotations with good luck charms and miracles, but also bad connotations such as chance or superstitions. Horseshoes are a common sign of good luck, and one origin for this is that in old times, iron was thought to ward off fairies and other evil spirits. So travelers would make horseshoes out of iron to prevent fairies from following them. This has a nice parallel of being positive, but also having a negative effect. Next, for Bone Island, I didn't have any idea of what this could be, but I saw a pretty unanimous theory for death being the Bone Island paranormal element, just said in multiple ways. However, I think the best name would be necromancy, giving it an alchemical feel. Basically, it represents the circle of life, or the balance of life and death, that one must exist for the other two. Life is more positive than death, but can have negative connotations such as overpopulation, while death is more negative, but can have positive connotations such as peace or relief. For Light Island, I think emotion works well. Certain emotions like joy or surprise are positive, while emotions like fear or sadness are negative. Emotions also have very close ties to color. Common sayings include red with anger, green with envy, feeling blue, turning pale, etc., and Light Island is all about colors. Like basically every class, there will likely be an island dedicated to the Paranormals, and since this class is basically the ethereal equivalents for the magical islands, I feel like Anniversary Month would be a perfect time to begin a new island. This island will likely have a regular version and a mirror version, one consisting of the major forms, the other for the minor forms, and I'd expect the two songs to be completely different, as opposed to just remixes of each other, like other mirror islands. This island will likely use the breeding mechanic, and since there would only be 4 elements, it would be an island with triples and quads, not just singles and doubles, like Ethereal Island. And that's it. Everything that you can expect in 2025. Comment below if you think I missed something, or have your own ideas. And if you too are on the Silksong Copium train, comment clown makeup, and see if anyone understands you. Thanks for watching. Bye!